Yep, my internet speed is poopy.
Okay,
Oh,
we're back.
okay.
We're back.
Sorry, and I'm sure I'm sure we just lost everybody there. Sorry, I don't know what happened. We're out here on Wi-Fi. I don't have the I don't have the Ethernet cable plugged in, so we're out here on Wi-Fi. Sorry about that. And yes, I'm pretty sure everybody went away. Anyway, for the people who stuck around, I'm going to continue as if this did not happen, and I'm going to check mine and see if I came back. See if I came back on my own.
We're back.
Are we? Because I'm not seeing it.
Because it pulled up a new stream.
Did it?
Yep.
All right. I'm still not seeing it. All right. As long as it's there. I mean, I'm seeing it. I'm not seeing it there either, Belle. Are you sure?
I'm seeing it on a different stream.
Okay, let me try. Go ahead and talk for a minute. Explain what's going on. Let me find the new...
Yeah, again, for some reason, it seemed like we lost signal out here in the studio, and
briefly,
so briefly. And
give me a minute here. Go ahead and keep talking about. Let me see if I can find out whatever's left. This is the new one.
Yep,
right?
That's the new one. That's the new one.
Okay, top chat is up there. Or you wanted live chat, right?
Yes.
Sorry, guys, I had this all set up. Sorry. It's a all world that we live in out here. All right. So anyway, let me get back to this because there's some other stuff that I want to continue on. All right, Belle, per the voting, what is everybody's opinion on info rail or data rail? Where are they at?
More people said data rail.
Okay, so I'm going to round of applause that because, I'm not good. I hit the wrong button. Now I'm going to round of applause that. So, let me tell you why this is so important, and particularly important from a marketing perspective. It's not just lip service. One, Sigea is privacy in your pocket. We've made that very, very clear. It's a very, very catchy catchphrase and slogan. And every single major successful product out here that exists in the Web 2 world, which we are pushing into, has a slogan. Our slogan is privacy in your pocket. Unless somebody on this stream right here can give me a better slogan. If you give me a better slogan, I will use that one. But right now, we think privacy in your pocket sums up enough about what we are. We are a privacy app. We're data storage that is primarily focused on privacy. That's where Jackal comes in. Jackal is everything about privacy. So we are privacy in your pocket because we're also mobile first. We happen to be desktop. And we happen to be browser compatible. You can literally use our service without the app. You can do it on any browser. We've tested it on Brave, on Chrome, Dissenter. Believe it or not, it works best on Dissenter. And it's going to be, we're going to work it out with Flynn and Nikita. But we are going to become, for Dissenter, we're going to become the native data storage app for the Dissenter browser. So I'm going to give myself a round of applause. We've already kind of worked out that deal. So Dissenter just got better because they're going to have decentralized storage by default. And that gives us access to customers. So that's our very first integration is going to be going on to Dissenter. So where I say that we like to support our partners, they're our partner. So please use the Dissenter browser. It's available on mobile. It's available on desktop. It's available on anything. So please use the Dissenter browser. If you're familiar with Chrome, you're familiar with Dissenter. But Sigea has privacy in your pocket. You're going to see because I got a sign order that's going to be going right about here between me and Belle on this frame. It's going to be Sigea, and guess what it's going to say underneath it, Belle? Guess what it's going to say?
Privacy in your pocket.
Privacy in your pocket. Round of applause for Belle because we are a privacy-focused app.
And Little Nasties did throw out a comment on the last stream. The data must flow.
The data must flow. Now, let me move on to that. Why are we doing that? Why does that seem so important? Why did we even start to feed this out? Because something happens over here in the degen world, and it's called memes. It's called memes. One of the things that always happens when a community gets involved in a token. Now, this particular token, the buy pressure on this token is not going to come from degens. It can. If you guys want to overvaluate it, sure, buy up a lot of it and hope for the best. That's called overvaluating it. But the bulk of the buy pressure on this token is going to come from users on the app. You got to understand that. 30% of all app revenue goes back to the token because we are borrowing from the future to finance the present. And by financing the present, we're talking about scaling out of cash. We're talking about scaling out the teams. We're talking about scaling out the next app that is going to use Sigea as the underlying layer of it. That is what we're borrowing from the future for, and that's the purpose of the token. But 30% of all app revenue comes back, and it's going straight into buying the token. So we are literally securing the price of it. Memes are very, very important out here in the degen world. I'm not going to ignore it. Even though we really don't need a lot of price action to move that token, it's going to move organically. It's how it was designed. I tried to get Eric on here tonight, man, but that guy's been working like 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. forever, man. He's like, dude, I ain't up for it. So I was going to bring Eric on here on the big screen so he could explain to you what we mean by that, because he wrote the damn white paper. I know I paid him. He wrote the white paper. He is our business development end of this. I don't know that. I don't know that portion of it. How do you write a white paper? How do you do this? How can you do this? Where's the math? How does that work? That ain't my thing, babe. My thing is privacy in your pocket. My thing is data rail. That's my thing. Marketing, getting it out. And well, right now funding it. It's unfortunate. But because we're monetized on day one. Now we're not launching this token for at least a minimum of 90 days from app launch. Because we need to be able to evaluate growth. We need to be able to accurately evaluate costs. We're not an L1. We can't sell you hope. I have to sell you users, user retention, product market fit, app revenue. I have to be able to sell you all of those things, and I can't make that up. I have to be able to show it. So we can't even launch this token for at least 90 days. So until if we are wildly successful on day one and we pick up 15,000 users over a period of 90 days, those 15 additional servers that we have to stand up to facilitate those 15,000 users are coming directly out of my pocket. Now, I would love that. All right, I'll mortgage the house and then launch the damn token. I will finance it until we can. But that is the idea behind the token of this, is the Sigea token. Now, degens are going to get involved, man. They will get involved. They won't know anything about it. They won't know anything about the app. They really won't care. What they do care about is the token, and they see token going up. The only thing that matters out here from the degen perspective is token go up. Tech be damned, doesn't matter. Blockchain be damned, doesn't matter. Ethos be damned, doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is token go up. So when they're tied up into something where the token is going up, guess what they want? They don't care if you use the app. They care that you buy the token. So along come the memes. The data must flow. I just saw it. I saw that comment. I'm not looking because that's not really my thing. But the data must flow. Memes are going to be starting to come out of here. I don't have to sell the token. I have no interest in selling the token. I honestly don't care if anybody comes in. I would, if you believe in what we're doing here and you believe that it's going to be successful, then now you know what, you know at least what you're coming in on. Not hope, metrics. That's what you're coming in on. But they will hustle to sell the token, and I don't care about the token. I do. The only thing I care about it, though, is from 18 months from the time that we launch it. Because 18 months is where we're pinning it to say that we are revenue cash flow positive by the time we hit to that 18 month, that we have repaid everything, every value dollar that we took out of that token, that we've had it fully repaid by the time we hit that 18 month, and that you're profitable by the time we hit that 18 month. So we can't even anticipate what kind of a raise we can get. Whatever it is, I have to be assured. That's why we need the 90 days. That's why we need the run-up for the metrics, so that I can be assured that by the time we hit that 18 month, that we fully repaid everybody with interest. After that, it's all white meat, just the nature of it. But I'm really, really hoping for these memes, because the only thing you're going to need to use our service is a phone camera to scan the QR code. The app's on your phone, just like that. Everything that Web 2 expects, just like that. The Web 3 version will be coming out. It will most likely be a light version. I'm just letting you know on that one, man. We cannot continue to pour capital into something where I'm going to, conceivably be marketing to 1% of the DeFi world. The DeFi world only keeps up about 20% of the entire crypto world. So we're talking about fractions of fractions that I'm actually marketing to. I'll never get my return on that. So the Web3 version for the purists, the ethos, the people who are all the way down, we will be launching that. It's going to be out. It'll be stupidly simple. It'll have a red light and a green light. If you hit the red light, you're no longer syncing your folders to Jackal. If the green light is on, you are syncing your folders to Jackal. But we're not going to give you an easy way to log in. You want to use it, you're going to have to use your own wallet. And then you're going to have to pay us out of your wallet. So you're paying us in Jackal tokens. That's fine. I want all the Jackal tokens that I can get. So that's going to be the Web3 version. It will have absolutely zero controversy around it. All we are doing is tunneling data. That's what we're doing. And in this case, we're trying to keep it all inside of the app to where we don't even need a file server. In that case, all we're doing is facilitating the transfer from your phone over to Jackal. We are acting as Jackal Vault via mobile. That's the Web3 version of it. It's not going to be pretty. It ain't going to be exciting. There are very few features on that because any feature that we put in a Web3 product is going to immediately be suspect. So we're keeping our costs way, way down on that so that we can keep our costs way, way up on the Web 2 version because that's where the money shot's going to be. But I do expect degens to come out here because token go up, product exciting. Oh, look at this. And then you got memes. And how nice for catchphrase is that? Right now, it's over on a cache. It's that spice token, that meme token that just crashed and burned. The spice must flow. How much easier is it right now, particularly because we use a cache, that our success is going to drive value to a cache because we pay a cache with the Akash tokens. That's what we pay for all these servers with. So as we are more successful and continue to scale, we're putting buy pressure on the Akash token because we're using Akash servers. So we immediately tie into all of these degen communities. The spice must flow and the data must flow. The only difference and the only thing that I'm going to insist, or I can't insist because we're a decentralized world. People can do whatever the hell they want. But the only thing that I'm going to ask is that when they make the memes, put the QR code right in the middle of it. All you got to do is scan it, man. Scan that QR code. Boom, you got the app. Just like that. I'm very, very excited about that. And Bell, the data must flow. All right, I got more. We haven't started with the token yet, but we will. But I want to make sure that I'm talking with you and not at you. So Bell, please.
Well, and unfortunately, I did lose questions from the first stream that were asked. So if you guys did jump back in and still have those questions, definitely get them back in chat, please.
All right, we got anything in there right now, or are we all good?
We do. There are a couple things from the first stream that I do remember aside from the data must flow comment.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah, G Torres, you're another one that complimented on the dress I'm wearing this evening. Thank you. And old man, your old lady, yeah, I kind of got the Grecian feel off of this dress too, so old lady's right.
They do, and we'll give you a round of applause for that. There you go. You got Bella blushing. All right, question.
All right, so Red Eye Bear with the one question we've got on this stream currently. Mm-hmm. How much does Sigea cost per month per terabyte?
Per terabyte?
Mm-hmm.
We have not actually locked in a terabyte price because I don't think anybody's going to take that. But off the top of my head right now, I'm going to say for a terabyte, it's going to be about $25 a month. You're burning a lot of bandwidth for us for that. But it'll probably be about $25 a month.
I'll double check that because I think we had said 20 initially.
All right, if it's 20, it's 20. Depending on the popularity of the app, because I don't expect a lot of people to come in here and swooping it up. Our base cost for Jackal is $15 a month per terabyte. But we also have to pay a cache. We also have to pay for all of these servers to make all of this stuff possible. And I have to consider all of my costs, man. All right, I have a duty, a fiduciary responsibility to anybody who owns a Sigea token that the money is spent well. So I'm not anticipating us getting a lot of terabyte users, but if they do, I'm going to say it'll be between $20 and $25 once we actually, that's why we need the 90 days, man. I need to really flesh out the metrics so that we can kind of tweak our price. Now, anybody who jumps in immediately on day one, I'll guarantee you the price, whatever it is. I'll guarantee you the price that you're paying us for 2 years. I'm on record. It's recorded. I will guarantee you whatever price we charge you when you sign up on day one, we'll give it to you for 2 years, even if we adjust our price out of this. If I lose money on it, I lose money on it, but that'll come out of my pocket. It won't come out of Sigea's pocket because I bricked it. but we'll guarantee that for 2 years. But after the 90 days is up and the Sigea token launches, if we have to adjust prices, that's for future customers, not current customers. We got to be, I can't lose a customer because I'm not making as much money as I could have made. We certainly can't do that. If we get a good level of success, we get a lot of market penetration, our demand is way up. Our price is probably going to go up for future users. But for the first 90 days and until we launch a token, it absolutely will not. It's locked. It's set in stone. Bell says $20. I think that's light. I think $25 is a better price. I know iCloud can beat us. I know Dropbox can beat us. I know all these people can beat us. I get that. But they can't do what we do. And you're going to pay for a premium. All right. You can drink Jack Daniel's Old No. 7. Which is piss, by the way, or you can drink any other brand of whiskey that comes out of that distillery and have a much better experience. But guess what? You're going to pay more than you do for Old No. 7. Oh, please.
I have to disagree on the Old No. 7 comment. I mean,
it is piss water.
Oh. That we can agree on. Agree on, but there are others that are just as bad as Old No. 7. Sorry.
That is crap. Even the guy, we took the tour, even the guy there, I said, how do you feel about Old No. 7? He said, oh, it's good to mix. It's a good mixer, Jack and Coke. It's a great mixer. Even the guy who worked at the distillery says, no, you don't drink that one naked, man. Yeah, you don't drink that one naked, man. You need something with it doesn't work. Carry on, Mel.
Marco Leon, is Sigea available for iOS?
This weekend, as a matter of fact, it is. So we're whitelisting. I'm putting it in the hands of 15 people, and that's it, man. We need to stress test the hell out of all the hardware. We need to make sure that the data flows on the path that it's supposed to flow on, and that it will handle the river no matter how high the river gets. So we're only putting it in the hands of 15 people. If you will be active and engaged with the app, then and you would like to test for us, then please let Bell know. The only thing we are going to need from you, because this is the Web 2 version, man, we're going to need your Apple ID. That's the only way we can make it work through the Apple Store. We're going to whitelist, list 15 names through the Apple Store. So when you go to the Apple Store, if you're one of those 15 people, you'll see the app there. You can download it, put it on your phone, go to town. But that's it. And there's going to be a big old alpha on the top of it. We have it. We've been testing it. We've been horsing around with it. But we need other testers that are going to do shit with this app that we're not going to do or think of. That's the whole idea. I can't tell you how many feedback reports I've given to Marston. And he's like, fuck, I didn't think anybody would do that. I said, yeah, but you allow it to happen. Therefore, if you allow it to happen, you have to assume that somebody like me is going to do it. And they fixed it. We're going to be in the same situation. We're going to need all of these things. Because again, guys, look, man, we're not Web 3. We're just using Web 3. But we cannot brick the launch. Android goes out, iOS goes out, desktop goes out, the whole system goes live. But we can't brick it because on day one, anybody who goes to it gets caught up in it, sees the hype, likes the idea of it, and goes, and it doesn't work perfectly. We lost that customer, and they're not coming back. It doesn't matter. 6 months, crypto can apologize. They can go, oh, I'm sorry, we fucked up and lost all your money. But we have a much better idea, so please stick around. We can't do that. We're an app. We cannot do that. We get none of the benefit of Web 3. We get none of the softball bullshit that Web 3 gets. Everything that we do here is going to be under an absolute microscope because nobody's done it yet. So we want serious testers, people who are going to do it and try it and do things that we didn't even think of. We're offering them up, 15 of them, and that's it. Bella at ThePodocasts.com. If you want to test for us, please get in touch with her and you guys work it out. Belle, please carry on.
All right. So, Idiot Fish, I'm more interested in the Web 2 app, but I'll definitely be holding the token.
Yeah. And look, dude, we're not in the token business, dude. That's it. All cryptos are the same thing. You're borrowing from the future to finance the present. The problem is that for 95% of these crypto projects, they caught up with the present and they have dick. They showed up with an empty bag full of nothing. Your token is buried. They have no more funding left to continue development because they spent too much fucking time going to conferences, dicking around and playing around on Twitter instead of actually heads down building like they all say they're doing. If they were actually heads down building, by the time they caught up to the future, they would have something to show you, but they don't. We can't do that. We don't have that luxury. I'm actually do I sound jaded about this? Because all the bullshit that Web3 is able to get away with, man, we cannot get away with. We've already had to eat their shit for 6.5 years. And now that we're launching when the market is, when everybody is suspicious and jaded on anything, that's when we're launching. We couldn't launch at a worse time as far as that. That's why we're not launching into that's why we're not launching that Web3 one yet, man. There's just no point. Anyway, carry on, Belle.
All right. So nuclear chicken. All right. Privacy in your pocket. I like it. Also, privacy always. And then it's a bit of a long one, but privacy in your pocket always.
I think that's I'll leave it up to the groupthink out here. Which one do you guys work? I like privacy in your pocket. We're a privacy app and we're mobile focused. Privacy in your pocket. And the reason that we're going with that is how many of you guys are away from your phones for any great length of time? Even in the bathroom, most people have your phones. You shouldn't have your phone in the bathroom, by the way, bro. That's why they make National Geographics. You know, there's naked women's in those National Geographics. It's not pornographic whatsoever. It's, today's world. But you shouldn't have your phone in the bathroom, man. What the hell's the matter with you? But most people do.
That's the one place I can get left alone. Why would I take my phone in there?
I don't know how to try to justify what you do or don't do. But yeah, that's the whole kicker with us, as we want to keep the slogan simple. Privacy, we're a privacy app. In your pocket, we're mobile first. So I think that works, but I'm willing to defer to the groupthink up here, man. I'm not a professional marketer. All right, I can't look at metrics and say we've done this here, and here, and this is what worked to this percentage here. I don't have any of that. We're going to have to hire marketers. That's another reason that we have to do a raise. Because,
hey, at least our lawyer has contacts that can help make it happen.
Yeah, our lawyer was a developer with Google. with Google, I'm just saying he knows people. So our Android side. Boy, we're in there, babe. But yeah, we're going to also have to hire a professional marketing team. But because I have this fiduciary responsibility, we have to hire the right one. And I need to have the contract that we're going to have with these people is going to be so specific, because I need to make sure that we have ROI on this. I can't piss in the wind here. We need return on that investment. So if we're paying a marketing team $50,000 for 3 months worth of work, I need to make sure that at the end of those 3 months that we're set up to recover that $50,000 plus a little bit. That's why we need the raise. We got to get it out there. Now, we're going to be putting some incentives on here. That's, again, this is kind of Eric's thing. But because we're tokenized, there's things that we're going to be able to do to incentivize users. These are not airdrops. But there is a portion, a small portion of tokens that's allocated for the airdrop. Belle, guess what you have to do to get your airdrop?
Oh, I know this one.
Go ahead.
Use the app.
You're going to have to download the app. You're going to have to sign up for the app. You're going to have to use the app. And once you do,
which means upload a file.
Which means upload a file, sign up, download the app, sign up for an account, and use the app. Upload some files, whatever. We're going to give you a couple bucks. But that is marketing expenses for us. I can't simply piss away tokens. I have to make sure that we're getting an ROI on that. That's why we can't, or we're not dropping $15,000 worth of tokens per user, because that makes no sense to us. We know, assuming a very, very basic assumption that they like the app and they sign up for $1.99 per month. Based on our profit margins, that means it's still going to take us a few months to recover the tokens that we airdrop to them. I have to make sure that this is going to occur. There's always going to have people that'll game the system, and that's fine. That's where user retention comes in. We're actually having the debate right now as if we should do that at all, because we're all about user retention. And there are plenty of degens out here that will literally go through all those steps to earn $8. They will happily do it. But that blows up our numbers, because that means they came on, they used it once, and they never used it again. Did they not use it because they didn't like it? Or did they not use it because they were only here for a $10 airdrop or something like that? We're still kind of having a little bit of debate like that or around that. But I just want you guys to know my mindset on this. Please carry on, Bell. G Taurus had a great comment that got lost, didn't he?
G Torres, will app work with a Mac with an M1 chip? It runs some mobile iOS apps, so I'm curious.
Ours is not very resource intensive. Again, bro, look, man, we're data merchants. All right, we are not AI or anything that is really, really intensive in that, man. Almost everything that we're doing here, our code base is amazingly small for this. So yeah, I know you're a Mac guy. Hopefully you're an Android guy, because I can just hook you up with the Android app. We don't even got to jump through all these hoops for that.
With the IPK, yeah, we just need to confirm that it is, because he's running a Mac.
And he has the iOS one. But I got a hunch G Taurus has an Android. G Taurus, do you have an Android phone? Because if you have an Android phone, babe, you made this real easy on us.
Yeah, but with the IPK versus the APK, yes, he may still be able to use it.
G Taurus, I would love you to use our app. I know that you're a stand-up kind of guy, and I know that you'll put it through the test. If you have an iPhone, bell@thepodcasts.com, and let's talk. But if this is something you're just going to tinker around with because it's interesting just to see if you can make it work, might not be our ideal tester. I'm not trying to shit on you, bro. You tune into every stream. I have nothing but love for you. But we only got one shot at this as well. So I want to make sure that the people who are using this thing are using it very, very actively. Carry on, Bell, and then we're going to get to the Astrovault portion of this.
All right. Deep House Nation, man, I've launched a failed app before and made all the mistakes you just said. You realize quickly you have no room for error, and the game ain't fair.
Nope. And I'm sorry if you don't think it is, or if you think that the world's against you, man. The world's not against you, bro. You just bricked it. All right, that's really it. And you will never, ever get a consumer back. As soon as you lose them, Web 2, these guys are like butterflies out here, man. They have the attention span of gnats. So if you lose them, you ain't getting them back. I don't care. Send them emails. Start an email campaign. Text them. Do whatever that. Well, we can't do that. We don't have your phone number. But you could start any campaign that you want. But the only thing that they're going to remember is that they tried it and it didn't work. That's the only thing that they're going to remember. You got one shot. That's why we're being so careful about this. I don't know anybody else in Web3 that's doing what we're doing. And what we're doing is not exactly complicated. We're just taking one hell of a risk with all of our own money. But we're not doing anything that anybody else couldn't do. But we're taking the risk on this thing here with our own cash, nobody else's cash. The fact that we are launching a token after we have metrics tells you everything you need to know about where our mindset is on this. Because anybody else would have been taking pre-sales. We would have been all over it. How about this? We'll put it out. Anybody who's going to be using Sigea for a long time, if you send me money now, when it goes live, I'll go ahead and activate your account. That's a hell of a deal, isn't it? That's Web3, all right? But we're not those people. But that's what we could have done. It would have been interesting. It would have failed utterly. But if I'm spending other people's money, I just piss it away. What does it matter? There's always more money, Belle. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Carry on, Belle.
All right, Red-Eyed Bear. I've been toying with an idea for a decentralized DeSci reporting analytics platform, and something like Sigea for storage and submission of raw data for pre-post analytics could be helpful.
Oh, babe, we're your perfect application of this. Again, the upload. The reason that we are tunneling the data is because Jackal's is the minimum time it's going to take to upload a file to Jackal, and I don't care what size that file is approximately 12 seconds. The block speed on Jackal is 6 seconds. So when the file immediately gets uploaded, it gets picked up by the validators, it gets assigned a chain ID and a file ID, it gets a storage provider selected, and the file's on the way. But it won't get confirmation until the next block. So that's 12 seconds. Consumers are not going to deal with the 12-second upload for a picture, for a selfie. They're not going to deal with the 12-second upload. With us, it's less than a second. You hit it, boom, it's up. It's on our server. From your perspective, it's sitting on Jackal right now, but it's not on Jackal yet. Now the real work starts. Now us battering RAM into storage providers through using Jackal.js and up there with our battering RAM like William Wallace sieging New York. That's us pushing that data up onto the Jackal network and letting them deal with RPCs and all that other good stuff. But consumer is not going to wait 12 seconds. So our only solution that we came up with for this is exactly what we're talking about, an ephemeral file server. That's the only thing that we can do so that we can keep customers happy. Web3 people are not going to deal with that. They're going to see it as another hole. They're going to see it as a security hole violation. Yeah. They're going to see it as all of that. And I don't want to spend all of my time explaining it, because if I have to explain it, we didn't build it right. The other app, the native Web3 app that we're pushing out, the native Web3 version of Sigea does not use a file server. It's slow. You're going to wait. You're going to deal with it. But we will, we're data merchants. So we will absolutely facilitate that transfer via mobile. But you're going to be waiting. It's going to take a while. It would never work out in Web 2. It just wouldn't. It's a more superior, secure fashion. By any measurable tech standpoint, it's better. But consumers are not going to deal with that. They're just not going to wait. I can tell you this right now, because I wouldn't, as soon as I had to deal with something like that. And I've used all of these other bullshit Web3 storage companies, platforms out here. Filecoin is great at what they do. If you just want to lock data away and never get it back, Filecoin is your guy. It's cheap. It takes forever, but it's cheap. It's more or less safe, even though they use a Google bridge. It's not decentralized, man. They use a Google bridge, for God's sakes. But consumers are not going to wait for that. And the funny thing is that the total revenue, storage revenue of Filecoin, last I checked, was about $4,600 a month. That's it. That's all they're getting paid. It's a fucking token. Carry on, Belle.
All right, Red-Eyed Bear. Curious if there are particular industry niches you think Sigea is best at serving. Can be any industry in Web 2, traditional, etc.
Right now, I'm actively and aggressively seeking out QAnon groups. I didn't tell Belle that, but I'm actively and aggressively seeking out QAnon groups. My very first push, aside from the partnerships that we've already signed or at least in the works, Dissenter is going to be our very first visible partner. They have about 35,000 users. That on day one is a potential for us to get 35,000 consumers. Will we get that many? No, I'd be happy with 300. 300 is a good fucking day. But that gives us exposure over there. We're going to cut a deal with the center. We will offset the price so that we can get people to use it. And it gives a little push over to Dissenter as well, because if you use a Dissenter browser, you can get the Sigea app for cheaper. That's how we pay back our partners. We're in talks with Opolis. And that one will more than likely happen because it doesn't cost them anything. It doesn't cost them anything to give us access to their 100,000 customers. We have several large law firms that are lined up through one of our benefactors. This is, I don't know what it would be like to be a billionaire, to just not fucking care. I mean, I have no idea what that would be like. I asked the guy to lunch. He jumped in a plane and just flew up here and had lunch. I was like, what'd that cost you? Oh, I don't know, about 40 grand round trip. Didn't care. And you know where we ate? Denny's. Denny's. We went to IHOP. We went to IHOP. Belle came out. We went to IHOP. He brought me up a box of booze on his private plane. He brought me up a box of bourbon, and we went and ate at IHOP. That whole little turnaround there cost him $50,000 for a few hours and a lunch at IHOP. But because of...
give us credit... Yeah. He does keto, and that was the one place we could think of where he could get keto.
He's one of those keto guys. I was like, oh, we got you, babe. But yeah, I wonder what it's like to have that kind of money. I hope I discover that someday. But what I'm getting at is he has blankets and armies of lawyers that are at his behest. So he's going to give us some immediate ins with a couple of very, very notable law firms. These are places that employ anywhere from 30 to 50,000 people. We get one in with one of those guys. I'm letting you know this right now. We get one in with one of those companies, and we build them a bespoke front end because it's going to have to be bespoke. We have teams standing by to do it. We will charge them up front for what's it going to cost. It ain't going to cost us shit. They'll pay it happily. And we catch that and we immediately go to 30 to 50,000 consumers using this app. Now that's scaling beyond your wildest imagination, because I don't even think a cache would be able to hold up. We would have to farm out to Render and basically every other cloud provider out here in the Web3 space. We'd have to pull all of them in. And I would suck up every resource that they have available, because we can only support 1,000 consumers per server. So if we hit something like that, we're there. But the other thing is that if we hit something like that and we went to that 50,000 consumers, 50,000 daily active users, at that point, we're in play. At that point, we will get offers. It's done. The work is done. Now it's just a matter of growing it out. We will get offers. At that point, we would 100% get offers, because we'd be one of the most successful apps that's ever launched in the Web3 space, and that will get noticed. So it's not exactly what you do. It's also a little bit of who you know. I don't know what would happen to the token at that point in time. People would get a big fucking payout. But yeah, that's part of the ride with this. I'm not interested in selling it unless we could sell off that portion of it, but maintain the underlying IP for all the other apps that we have built up there, that we have planned around this. So that's the only way that I would do it. But yeah, anyway, that's it. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling now. I don't know if you guys could tell, I'm very excited. It was a great meeting today, man. It was a great meeting. It works. It's there. We're happy. And now we're just trying to figure out how do we blow it out when we actually launch. So anyway, carry on, Bill.
All right, G Torres, if Sigea sends out a file from the data rail to Jackal and it fails on Jackal's side, will Sigea automatically send the file until it's successful on Jackal's side?
Sigea's ephemeral storage file server, we will not delete it or remove it until we receive confirmation from Jackal, meaning that we have a chain ID and a file ID. Anybody can go to Jackal Vault right now, upload a file, open the console, see what's going on up there. But that file, you're going to see it right there, clear as day in the console. File ID and chain ID. Until we receive that confirmation from Jackal, that Jackal now hosts the file, it will remain active on our file server, and we will keep sending it until we get back that file ID and chain ID. Again, man, we're William Wallace at York, man. We're going to slam through that door, and if it doesn't bust the first time, we're going to hit it again and again and again until we get that.
That's actually one thing that's making it take so long on the Web3 side, because, you know, we're
not tunneling it.
Yeah,
no, we're sending it directly there. So you're waiting. And if they're having an RPC day or anything like that, that's their problem.
Yeah, we're working with Marston to, try and get around those bad RPC
but we
days.
We can't do it. We haven't been able to do it yet. I mean, look, we got the goddamn. We got the fucking CTO of Jackal working with us on this, so we're gonna get it. But it's not happening right now. And again, I don't expect enough ROI for us to continue to fork capital into that. We'll do it, but it's kind of a hobby right now. Just so you know, it's we got our lead dev over here. He's one of those butterfly guys, and he just won't let it go. But I told him, look, man, it's a hobby, dude. All right, on your off time, if you want to fuck around with this and slay the dragon, you go ahead and do it. But not on business time, man. You do this on your off time. Again, man, it's ROI. And I'm pretty sure you guys understand where I'm going with that. All right. People don't in this space do not use apps. How many Web3 apps do you guys have on your phones right now? There are at least 6 good ones that I consider imperative that are on my phone right now. How many of you guys have Web3 apps that are active on your phone? The answer is going to be 1 or none for most of you. That's all I need to know. Because you guys have been with us forever. You have been in Web3 forever. You've been around this space forever. And you're still not using fucking apps. It's not worth it. It's just we're not going to get the ROI on that. That's really all it comes down to. So anyway, let me pivot a little bit here. Let me pivot just a little bit. And please, questions, comments. I will talk as long as you need me to talk. As long as we got people over here, I'll keep going. So let's start talking about the benefits of what Sigea is going to bring to the existing products that are out here. Now, one is, of course, a cache. You guys know our numbers. I already disclosed them. 1,000 users per server. That's all we can handle. And these are souped up. So I'm paying top dollar for these things. There's a lot of RAM on them. But we have to make sure that these things have very, very high performance for the consumers. I consider it an investment in quality. We can't lose a consumer because we had an issue with one of these things. So we have all these servers, daisy chain, monitoring each and every one of them. Those are costs. As we scale, we need more of them. So every time we add one, we have to add two. So I have to add a primary and a backup. So our costs for those are very, very high. But that's the only way we can do it. Now, our alternative is to use OVH Cloud, is to use any of the other myriad of cloud server providers that exist out here. But the problem with that is that they need to know a lot of information about us. That's KYC. They need to know the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And considering that we're a privacy app, I will never give anybody the who, what, when, where, why, or how. I'm obligated as the, I don't even know what my title is with this company, but as, how about this, as the public face of it, I will never disclose the who, what, when, where, why, or how. Therefore, immediately, right at the beginning, we cannot use any kind of traditional cloud servers. They'll give us a service level agreement. My costs will probably be comparable to what I'm getting on a cache, but I'll have service level agreements. But even with the service level agreements, if there's an outage, I'm using OVH and there's a problem. OVH has problems all the time. I'm going to lose consumers because of this. So even though I have a slaw with OVH, it's not going to ever be able to make up all the revenue I lost, because not only did I lose a consumer, but I lost every consumer that this consumer might have talked to about this app. Every single person that they know, everybody in their orbit, I just lost all of them too. No service level agreement is going to be able to account for that. So we have to have redundancy without giving over the who, what, when, where, why, or how. Privacy in your pocket, babe. So we're kind of up against it on that. Now, as we scale, we are purchasing more and more Akash tokens because we have to pay for all of these servers with Akash tokens. I got very, very fortunate a long, long time ago. And if you watch the channel, you know that I've made an awful lot of videos about Akash when it was between 20 and 25 cents. I was literally buying all the Akash I bought. You know what DEX I bought it on, Belle?
Yeah, I mean, Osmo would have been one of them. And
nope,
then
bought it on Crescent. Crescent. Do you guys remember Crescent? Round of applause for a fallen soldier. I did most of my cash purchasing over on Crescent between 20 and 25 cents. I didn't see it as an investment in a token. I saw it as an investment in compute futures. I knew I was going to need these tokens. So the best part about it is how much runway we have for all of our servers that are coming up right now. Because even though a cash is trading at about $1.70, $1.80, I only paid a quarter for it. So I'm getting $1.70's worth of value out of every single token that I paid 25 cents for. That stretched our runway. It stretched how much Jackal or a cash that we actually have to account for. But I'm going to catch up to the future on that as well. And when I catch up to the future on that as well, I'm going to have to start buying Akash tokens to pay for our Akash servers. Now, as we scale and we use more and more Akash servers, what do you think happens to the Akash? We're putting buy pressure on the token. It's nice and fucking simple. We're putting buy pressure on the token due to our own scalability, due to our need. So that's one of the benefits. People who benefit off from this, even though they've never really acknowledged that we're even building over there. I've never had anybody. I've gotten some retweets out of Greg or something, but nobody's ever actually stepped up and said, boy, this is a good idea. Guys, look, we're turning tech into revenue. That should really be the slogan, is tech into revenue. What we are doing with all of this, with that right there, is turning tech into revenue. We're taking the tech that's built. We're not investing in the token. We're investing in the tech, and we're going to monetize it and turn it into revenue. So Akash is going to be able to get a nice pickup from us. Never going to be able to match what AI is doing, because AI is stupidly expensive and all that. You uncomfortable? Huh? Have we been sitting here too long? Do you need to go? Do we need to wrap this up? Because we haven't even gotten to the Jackal or the Extraval part yet.
I know. Okay. I know. Because you're so excited and you keep, yeah.
Yeah, well, Akash gets a carry on us. Akash gets a carry on Sigea because they're providing us cloud servers. Jackal gets a carry on us because Jackal's not giving us the storage. They're not even cutting us a deal. We are paying we're paying floor prices on this. We don't even get a deal with Jack. I'd love to have sat down with Patrick and say, look, dude, we're going to send you 35,000 consumers. We don't want to pay $15 per terabyte. We want to pay 12. I would like a VIG. I would like a 20% discount on our storage. We don't even have that deal worked out with Jackal. We got no deal worked out with anybody. I'd love to go to Greg and say, hey man, look, we're going to be, we're going to be pushing up here about 500 servers. Can you cut us a deal? We haven't even gotten that. Nobody's cutting us a deal on anything. So all of the storage that we're sending over to Jackal, and the thing that makes this really, really neat, and the thing that works, it's the secret sauce. I'm not going to disclose this, but the nifty thing that makes this work and keeps us in these insane profit margins is how much data have you purchased versus how much data have you used. I'm going to leave that right there. Anybody in the know knows exactly what I mean by that, because this is the way TradFi does it. This is the way Trad Storage does it. This is the way everybody does it. And there's no reason that we can't do that as well. We're not taking anything from anybody. But if we have a lot of unused land, doesn't it make sense to go ahead and lease that land out, Belle?
It does.
Anybody does it. Everybody does it throughout the entire world. So that's what we're doing, and that's why our profit margins are so high, because we can do what Jackal cannot do, and that's really all it comes down to. We're leasing out unused land, and when you need to recover that land, when you need to come back there and to kick us the hell off, we're off. It's yours, babe. You own this. We're just kind of leasing it out on your behalf. And it's not skeevy. It's not sketchy. This is exactly the way business is done out here. Ask anybody. So we're doing it. That's why our profit margins are so good. But we still have to pay Jackal. We absolutely have to pay Jackal for every single bit of data that we send up. They're not giving us a break. We're not getting any of this for free, so we have to pay Jackal. So the more consumers we get and the more storage that we have to purchase to Jackal, guess what we have to pay that Jackal tokens? Guess what we have to do with those? We have to buy them. So we have to open market purchase. We don't open market it. This is where Astrovault comes through and brings this whole fucking thing together. It's beautiful. But we're going to need Jackal tokens to pay for all of the Jackal storage. So as soon as you go through and you sign up for an account and you put in your pay and you pay it, this is where Astrovault comes in. So Astrovault picks it up. They say, okay, we need this, X and Y and Z. This is what we need. This was the amount of purchase. This was the account that purchased it. This is what they need to pay everything out. We're going to go ahead and make the swaps. We're going to put it there that way. And they're going to send over to Sigea. Whatever's left, we got to pay Astrovault for this franchise or for this thing. They're not giving it to us for free either, which sucks. We're going to be their largest consumer, but they're still not even cutting us a deal. I work with him. He's my PD guy, but even they're not cutting us a fucking deal. We're paying retail on all of this shit. It sucks. But the thing that brings it all together. So as I need to scale out my compute, I do it through Astrovault. As I need to scale out my storage, I do it through Astrovault. As we need to process transactions going back and forth, we do it through Astrovault. We're doing everything through Astrovault because they're the only team that stepped up and said, yes, we can do it. So everybody out here in the Web3 space is going to get a carry on the back of our marketing efforts, on our push, on our hustle. Everybody's going to get a carry on us. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because our profit margins are so good. So I'll bring up the last little bit and then we'll finish it up with questions. Our token, in order for our token to function, it's going to need a pairing. Now we have some thoughts on this. I have some thoughts on this. I just want to make sure you guys are here, and I'd love to hear any feedback if you guys have any of this. My very first inclination is to pair it solely with the AXV token. Now, before your hackles go up, let me explain. We're not launching this token until we have verifiable metrics. We're not launching anything until we know exactly how much revenue we're going to be pushing into that token. It is incredibly important to us, to Sigea, and to everything that comes after, that the Astrovault token survives and thrives. The only way we're going to be able to make that happen is two ways. One, volume of transactions, because every single transaction that happens under there, Astrovault takes a VIG. MasterCard takes a VIG when you use it. Discover, American Express, every payment processor out here gets paid to perform the service. Astrovault will get paid to perform the service, same as anybody else. So they're going to be able to take a VIG. So that's going to lead to buy pressure on the Astrovault token. The other thing that I want is the fact that we are going to have a constant stream of revenue going into the Sigea token, which means that it's going to elevate. And as it elevates, it's going to carry anything that's tied in with it. Jackal's going to get a carry on our back. A cash, not for a long time because they're such a big, they're just such a big chain. They probably won't notice us until we get to the 3-digit server stage, which for us would mean about 100,000 consumers. Until we get to the 3-digit stage, I don't think a cache is really even going to notice that we're using it. But Jackal's going to notice it immediately. They're going to notice it day one when we get 1,000 consumers, when we get 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. Jackal's going to start to notice that immediately, and we're literally going to give a carry to the Jackal token through buy pressure because we have to pay them for the service. So I want to make sure that nobody gets left behind here because everything that Bell and I are doing and everything that we're planning going forward, it is critical, absolutely critical that Jackal survives and thrives, that a cache survives and thrives, and that a Astrovault survives and thrives. Now, Astrovault's off doing some other things. They're working with Anchor. So Astrovault's off doing some other things, but they are still focused. One guy in particular, I've been having conversations with him, one guy in particular that is building out the pay rail because we also need that pay rail to function for Sigea to function. So at first, anybody who's using the IPK right now who comes on is giving us feedback. It's my time. It's my dollar. Don't worry about it. Load it up, all the data that you want. I'm paying for each and every bit of this because the only pay rail that we can integrate with this right this very second is Stripe, which we have to have, and the Flexa SDK. I have to give that round of applause because how funny would this be? Anybody who's familiar with the AMP token, but how funny would that be if we actually got enough action, Bell, through the Flexa SDK? We had enough people using crypto to pay for a Web3 app that it was actual meaningful volume on that thing. How funny would that be? That would be fucking
That'd
hilarious.
Be pretty ironic,
oh my God.
yeah.
And I would drop, I would be intolerable in my videos, Bell. I would be so savage in all of my AMP videos going forward. My God, I want this to happen. I sure hope it does. Anyway, Bell, questions, comments, concerns?
All right. So anyway, Pax Banter, one more slogan, privacy to the people, a tagline that's also a rallying cry. It's a riff on power to the people, and it gives you the ultimate power today, complete protection and privacy of your data.
Oh, no, I know where you're going with that. I would stay away from that simply because it has political connotations to it. I think the dumbest fucking thing that any company could do is out themselves politically. Ben and Jerry's, who are all the other douchebags that are? Ben and Jerry is one of the biggest, most notable ones.
Black Rifle Coffee Company.
Black Rifle Coffee Company, when they came out, how all the liberal causes they donate to. One of the stupidest things that you can do in business is out yourself politically because you've just alienated 50% of your potential consumers. Now, I like power to the people. I do, because you guys know I'm a libertarian, 100%. So I like power to the people, but I will alienate 50% of my potential consumers with that, and I just can't do it. Privacy in your pocket doesn't offend fucking anybody except for big government people, and tell you the truth, I could live without them. The app will survive and thrive without them. But privacy in your pocket, you got to admit, guys, that's pretty much politically neutral. All right, we're not picking a side here. We're just picking the side of the consumer. So power to the people is great, but yeah, it's got political connotations, man. We can't do it. I just want you guys, I'm just disclosing everything to you guys. Carry on, Bill.
So regarding that point, Old Man says that would be the greatest ever, the ultimate slap back.
Can't do it, bro. I gave you my reasoning, man. I can't do it.
Oh, he's talking about incorporating the SDK.
Oh, thank you. Yes, old man. I would be so intolerable. I couldn't imagine. I'd stand up here with an AMP shirt and no pants, and I'd say, all right, let me tell you how you were wrong all this time and how I was right all this time. All you got to do is say thank you. That's all I'm looking for, but you still won't. People just go out of their way to find things to be offended by. Even if I drove 100 million customers through that pay rail, they would still find a reason to bitch because I don't see it the way they see it. DGens suck. I really don't want to deal with them anymore. Carry on, Belle.
All right, so regarding AMP, after AMP banned you from all their socials, that would be epic.
That would be great because you know what I'd have to do? I would have to pay somebody who has not been banned on anything to go out there and be an advocate for me, to go out there and be a podcast advocate and say, and just keep making new personas every time they ban you, just making them over and over and over, just posting videos of me going, ha ha.
That's a job for Never Not.
That's a job for Never Not. Yeah, you bet. We got some very patient people. But yeah, that would be the best. I would literally pay them. I'll give you $2,000 a month just to go out there and post my stuff on all the places that they were banned, just so I could sit there and go, ha ha, told you, you numbnuts. Anyway, carry on, Bill.
All right, old man with the last couple of comments. They banned me from the Reddit long ass time ago.
Yeah, me too. I can view it. They haven't taken away my rights to see it yet. I don't know if they can do that, but yeah, I can't post. I can't put up anything. And you know what's surprising? I'm going to keep making AMP videos because we're using their SDK, because we are using the product the way that the product was designed to be used. So I'm going to make sure that that community knows that we have integrated it, that it is out there, it is flowing. They're not going to get behind it. It won't matter. Me to them is what offends them. The fact that I don't see eye to eye with everything that they see eye to eye on, it offends them. So they're going to personally, again, this is like getting into the political thing. They're going to personally do that. But what they do is watch my videos. And I like to have views on my videos. That's really where it comes down to for me. So one, we're using the product. I need the product to remain. It's not going to be, I'm going to argue, I'll say it's less than 1%. Less than 1% of any paying customer we have will be using the Flexa SDK and paying us in crypto. So it's not a big thing for us, but we don't have to pay to use it. It costs us nothing. So yeah, but we will be the very first. This is what's kind of cool, old man. You need to write this down, or Toot, or anybody who watches this after the fact. We're going to be the very first people in the history of this whole thing to actually be able to post user metrics. How were we paid? We were paid via the Flexa SDK. How many of our users, of the thousands that we have, use the Flexa SDK? 3. I'm going to say it's 3. I'll be one of them too. But we'll have maybe 3 or 4 that will actually use the Flexa SDK so we can point it out. Now, the way you counter that simply is that, well, your app sucks. Nobody wants to use it. Even though you have thousands of customers and consumers out there, really it sucks. That's why they're not using it. But it'll have nothing to why they're not using the Flexa SDK, but we'll all know what it is. We'll all know where that comes down. So I'll be able to post metrics. I'll be able to say, yeah, this is how many users that we sent them. But at least we will be the very first people to ever be able to say that we sent you consumers. Nobody else has been able to do it up to there. Round of applause. Belle, please carry on.
That was actually it for comments.
Perfect. Go ahead then, Belle, and let me flip screen. Oh, by the way, that's why we can function. Without that right there, there's no Sigea, because we can't use Arweave, we can't use Iagon, we can't use any of the other services that are out there. We can't use R, we can't use any of those things. The only thing that'll make this app work the way we need it to work is Jackal. So yeah, I'm going to keep pinging them, and there you go. Anyway, Belle, why don't you go to camera 1 right here, talk us up, take us out. We'll probably be back. I don't know if we'll be back tomorrow. If we do, we're going to be talking about Sigea. So just so you know, we're going to be talking about Sigea. If you are interested in alpha testing for us, it's easily deep beta. It's ready to be released, but we have to make sure. But we're putting alpha on the top of it. So as long as we put alpha, anything we do is fine. Well, it's alpha. It says it on the app. That's like a term of service for us. But anyway, Belle's going to talk us up, going to take us out. I had a wonderful time. Go ahead and do it, Belle.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who joined us this evening, we cannot say thank you guys enough We do appreciate each and every one of you guys and the comments and questions you send our way. And for you guys coming back after the stream completely dropped earlier.
I'll put the Ethernet in next time. I'm sorry. What are you going to do?
Well, again, we may or may not be back on tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will be back on Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So between now and then, if you guys have any other comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us, Scott at ThePodocasts.com or Bella at ThePodocasts.com, and we'll get those questions, comments, and concerns answered for you. Again, we can't thank you enough, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers. We are dropping new videos and podcasts every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And be sure to look for us on Instagram, Twitter, and Parler at ThePodocasts. Also, visit our page at ThePodocasts.com, all one word, for all of our most current content.